The rain poured relentlessly, soaking the earth and masking the tears that streamed down Wei Shen's face. He knelt before a shallow grave, his fingers clenching the damp soil as rage boiled within him. The cold wind whispered the memories of that night, the night when everything was taken from him. The Golden Serpent clan had come like shadows, their blades flashing in the moonlight, cutting down everyone in his village, including his father, who had fought bravely but was no match for their merciless leader, Master Zhao. Wei Shen had been left for dead, a deep gash on his chest, his spirit nearly extinguished. But he had survived. For years he wandered, lost, consumed by the fire of vengeance. His body bore scars, both from wounds that had healed and those that had never closed. He sought revenge, but revenge required strength, and he had none. He was nothing but a broken man with an unquenchable thirst for justice. Then he met Master Lao. The old man lived deep in the mountains, hidden from the world. His eyes were like still waters, deep and knowing. He had watched Wei Shen struggle against his demons, seen his pain, his anger, his desperation. And so, with a slow nod, he agreed to teach him. Kung Fu is not just about strength, Master Lao had told him on the first day. It is about control, discipline, and patience. If you wield it with rage, it will consume you. But if you master yourself, nothing can stand in your way. Wei Shen trained relentlessly. Every morning he would awaken before the sun, practicing his stances, his strikes, his breathing. Master Lao pushed him beyond his limits, making him run up steep cliffs, break stones with his bare hands, and balance on bamboo poles above raging rivers. At night, he meditated, taming the storm within him, learning to channel his fury into focus. Months turned to years, and the frail young man who had once been helpless had transformed into a warrior of terrifying precision. His body had become an instrument of destruction, his mind sharp as a blade. He had learned the ancient techniques that had been lost to time, the phantom strike, the shadow step, the serpent's coil. Master Lao had taught him not just to fight, but to become something greater than his pain. One evening, as they sat by a fire, Master Lao spoke. "It is time. You have learned all that I can teach. But remember, vengeance is a path with no return." Wei Shen bowed deeply. "Thank you, Master." And so he descended from the mountains, his heart set on a single goal, Master Zhao. The Golden Serpent clan had grown more powerful in his absence. Their name feared across the land. Their fortress stood atop a mountain, guarded by warriors, protected by steel and blood. But Wei Shen was not deterred. He had not come for war. He had come for justice. On a moonless night, he moved like a shadow, slipping past guards unnoticed. He struck swiftly, his hands and feet like lightning, leaving only silence in his wake. The fortress was a maze of corridors and chambers, but he knew where he was going. He had studied their movements, listened to whispers in the villages, followed their trails like a hunter tracking prey. He reached the grand hall where Master Zhao sat upon his throne, surrounded by his most elite warriors. The moment Wei Shen stepped inside, Zhao's lips curled into a smirk. "So, the boy who should have died returns," Zhao said, his voice dripping with mockery. Wei Shen's fists clenched, but his mind remained calm. "I have not returned as a boy. I have returned as your reckoning." Zhao laughed, signaling his warriors to attack. They came like a wave, their weapons flashing, but Wei Shen was a storm. He moved between them, dodging strikes, countering with precision. Bones cracked, bodies fell, and soon, only he and Zhao remained. Zhao stood, drawing his blade. "You think learning a few tricks makes you my equal? You are nothing." Wei Shen took a breath, steadying himself. "I am not your equal. I am your end." Zhao lunged, his sword cutting through the air. But Wei Shen was faster. He dodged, delivering a strike to Zhao's wrist, forcing him to drop the blade. The old master countered with a spinning kick, but Wei Shen anticipated it, catching his leg and flipping him onto the ground. For the first time, Zhao's arrogance wavered. He scrambled back, but Wei Shen was relentless. Blow after blow landed, each one carrying the weight of years of pain, loss, and training. Zhao coughed blood, his once mighty presence reduced to a gasping shadow of his former self. Kneeling beside him, Wei Shen whispered, "This is for my family." With one final strike, the fortress fell into silence. As Wei Shen walked away, the weight on his heart did not disappear, but the storm within him had calmed. He had taken his revenge, but he had not lost himself. Master Lao's teachings echoed in his mind, a reminder that true strength was not in destruction, but in control. And so he disappeared into the night, not as a man seeking vengeance, but as a warrior who had found his path. Years passed, and the legend of Wei Shen grew. Stories of the man who had single-handedly dismantled the Golden Serpent clan spread across villages, inspiring those who had lived in fear. Some believed he had become a guardian spirit, appearing only when justice was needed. Others whispered that he had returned to the mountains, to the place where he had once trained, seeking further enlightenment. But Wei Shen was no ghost, nor a myth. He wandered the land, helping the weak, protecting the innocent, and righting the wrongs left by tyrants like Zhao. Though his thirst for vengeance had been quenched, his purpose had only just begun. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, he found himself standing before an old temple, the sound of laughter echoing from within. A group of children trained under the watchful eye of an aging master, their movements precise yet filled with the joy of learning. Wei Shen smiled. He had found something greater than revenge. He had found peace.